Welcome to Premier League Match Pack, your weekly guide to all the stats that matter. 110 games have been played so far, with Liverpool leading the way at the top of the table. Our goal tally stands at 306, and before the international break, Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored the 25,000th goal in Premier League history. 4 of the 37 penalties scored came in the last round, with Harry Kane, Jermaine Defoe, Charlie Austin and Christian Benteke all converting. While our teams are certainly showing their competitive spirit, with a total 3,962 tackles so far this season.
Manchester United versus Arsenal. Very special fixture, big build-up. This is going to match Wenger and Mourinho. Right at the top of the tree. Who's going to come out on top? I can't wait to find out. What can we expect from this game? Man United, Arsenal, there'll be passion, there'll be lots of noise. The managers have now got to pick the right formations. Players have got to come out and they've got to be counted. All the good players are going to have to show what they've got. Mourinho is going to be tested. So is Wenger. Wenger has outlasted so many Premier League managers, but this one's normally a stalemate. Wenger versus Fergie. But it's all changed now at United. There's been 2 or 3 managers come in and it hasn't worked. Can Wenger outwit Mourinho? Let's look at the stats now. They've played each other 11 times. Wenger has beaten Mourinho never. 6 draws and 5 losses. Now, we know he's got the brain, but can the players take on the information to the pitch to beat Mourinho's United? So Manchester United's home form is the worst ever. 40% win percentage at Old Trafford. On the other hand, Arsenal are flying away from home with a win percentage of 80%, which no other team in the Premier League can beat. So can Arsenal continue this amazing away form? Because in their next 6 fixtures, they have got 4 away games, starting with United and ending with City. And in between, they've got West Ham away and Everton away. As good as Arsenal's form is, it's going to be tested this weekend. Now, their last 7 trips to Old Trafford, they have lost 6 of them. And I'm pretty sure Wenger is going to want to put that right. Their last one at Old Trafford, September 2006. Now, the last meeting between these 2 teams, we were introduced to this young man.
And here's Marcus Rashford! The teenager from South Manchester garnishes his Premier League debut with a goal. In by Lingard. Rashford again! 2 in 3 minutes for the new darling of Old Trafford.
Marcus missed out on the Swansea game, but I think this weekend he could find himself in more of a central role, as Ibrahimovic is out. Now, his accuracy is down when it comes to shooting, but he's taken more shots. Don't forget, he has been stuck out on the left. Get him down the middle, let's see what he can do. Whereas at the other end, David De Gea is having a bit of a hard time, but I don't think it's all down to him. The back 4, the defenders in general, have got to take responsibility as well. As a collective, that is not the Man United way. And if they want to achieve anything this season, they've got to cut that out. This season, yes, he is letting in more goals. Yes, he is making less saves. That's because the ball's going in the back of the net. And that 64.9% save percentage is his worst ever in the Premier League. Looking to heap more misery on David De Gea is this man, Mesut Ozil. What a player. On his day, he can unlock any defence, but I think he's going to have his work cut out. He's down on his stats when it comes to assists, but he'll be looking to put it right in this game. Yes, we know he's a good player. He's created the most chances for Arsenal this season, but it has taken him more touches to do so. He's also covered less ground around the pitch than he has done in previous seasons. Now, is that down to him being tired? Is the Premier League getting to him? Or the internationals making him fatigued? I don't think it's an excuse. So we know both managers will be up for this one. The fans will definitely be up for this one. Both teams have to be up for this one. Will it live up to all the history and all the hype? There's been some amazing games in the past and some individual brilliance, but now it's time for the important part. My prediction, there's going to be goals, and I think it's going to be United 3, Arsenal 2.
Our matchback question this week is all about Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger. We're asking how many players have played under both of them in the Premier League. We'll have the answer for you later in the show.
Chelsea travel to the Riverside Stadium full of confidence, looking to make it 6 wins from 6. The last time they achieved this in the course of a season was back in August 2009, and eventually that year they went on to win the title. However, Middlesbrough may fancy their chances after they snatched a draw away to Manchester City with a stoppage time goal last time out. An important facet of Borough's form this season has been their winning of the ball. Aitor Karanka's side have won 182 of their 253 tackles, at least 7 more than any other team. George Friend has played a pivotal part in their success. His tally of 28 won is the highest by a defender in the league. But Borough will need to keep up their attritional approach if they're going to stop Diego Costa. The striker's been involved in 12 goals already this campaign, a higher number than any other player in the league, and 9 more than he'd been involved in at this stage last season.
This year it's totally different. He's come back fit and strong, and looks hungry again. I think also he's had a bit of support as well. I think that's helped him, because in the system that Chelsea are playing right now, he's got the likes of Hazard and Pedro, who are free in behind him to sort of roam around the pitch as much as they want.
Chelsea dominate the head-to-head record, and in recent years there have been some terrific goals on display. In October 2008, Giuliano Belletti's sublime effort from 30 yards out was one of 5 goals the Blues put past their opponents. Whilst the previous season, Didier Drogba and then Alex sealed victory for the visitors over a struggling Borough.
Liverpool return to Premier League action, still buoyant from their 6-1 demolition of Watford at Anfield. That was the 5th occasion this season on which the Merseysiders have scored 4 or more goals in a game, and that relentless attacking style has propelled them to the top of the league, a position they hadn't occupied since May 2014. They now travel to 10th place Southampton, with Reds fans daring to dream of Jurgen Klopp steering the club to a first Premier League title.
A very free-scoring team. I think he's now got the philosophy, the way that they want to play, their identity of the football team, and like I say, you know, they seem to be very much at the moment a case of, you know, you can score 2 or 3, but we will score 4, and they've got a lot of goal scorers in the team. The front 3 have been absolutely excellent, and like I say, I think the players have adjusted and understand what's expected from them now.
That front 3 of Philippe Coutinho, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane has been supplemented by Adam Lallana, but he may struggle to overcome an injury picked up on England duty in midweek. Liverpool's attacking quartet has registered 19 goals and 15 assists between them this season, contributing heavily to the Reds being the division's top scorers. The current fluency of Liverpool's attacking play has meant relatively little game time for Divock Origi and Daniel Sturridge. That could be in part due to the manager's demand for high-intensity pressing, with Firmino covering more ground per game on average since Klopp's arrival. But with those additional options on the bench, it's no surprise that the Reds have recorded more shots on target than any other side. Only Chelsea have faced fewer than Southampton, though, so that stubborn Saints defence could prove difficult to breach for Klopp's men.
That's a very good building board, you know, from the back. One of the things they will say is that they want to be scoring a few more goals. Defensively, they look very strong. They are creating opportunities, and they just need to put the ball into the back of the net, because in the likes of Charlie Austin, you know, in Redmond, in Tadic, you've got players that really can make things happen up there. So I'm sure that's one of the things they'll be wanting to get, because if they can get a few more goals, like I say, the defence is very, very strong, then they're going to be asking questions of the top teams in the league.
Just 6 sides have scored fewer goals than Claude Puel's team, but it's not for a lack of scoring opportunities. Of all the Premier League players yet to assist a goal, Dusan Tadic has created the most chances, with teammate Nathan Redmond not far behind. But that frustration for the likes of Tadic and Redmond may be short-lived if Charlie Austin maintains his potency in front of goal. No English Premier League player has scored more than Austin's 8 goals in all competitions this season, so the 27-year-old may have been disappointed not to receive a call-up in the international break.
Even when he was at QPR, he scored a lot of goals for a team that were really struggling. And, you know, for me now as well, I look at it and think that he should have his opportunity. I think he's a fantastic player. I think his hold-up play is great. I think the way that he links up with players is fantastic as well, and he definitely deserves his opportunity, because I don't think there's many Englishmen that have scored more goals than him in recent times.
Austin's threat will be a concern to Klopp as he attempts to solidify his defence. Only 3 times has a team conceded more than 1 goal per game on average on the way to winning the Premier League. With Liverpool having already shipped 14 in 11 matches, they'll have to tighten up at the back, especially as they head to a venue at which they've often struggled. Since moving to St Mary's, Southampton have had the better of their home fixtures with Liverpool, but with the Reds flying, claiming another 3 points could be too much to ask.
What you find is that with Liverpool, they're a team that want to counter-attack. They get good results away from home. The onus will be on Southampton, and that could leave themselves wide open at the back. So I do fancy Liverpool to win this game. I think Southampton will give them a decent game, but I just think that Liverpool will have too much going forward.
For the first time in their 25-season Premier League history, Tottenham Hotspur are unbeaten in their first 11 games. The fact they're the only top-flight team yet to lose a game is no doubt due to their defensive strength, conceding just 6 goals since the start of the campaign. But while Mauricio Pochettino's side are avoiding defeats, in their last 4 league games they've been unable to turn draws into wins, scoring just 3 goals in that period. Spurs fans will be pleased to see Harry Kane back at White Hart Lane this weekend, as although they've picked up 3 home victories this season, they've only scored 6 times. Their opponents, West Ham United, have also seen a drop in goals this term. But whilst Dimitri Payet has only found the back of the net once, he's certainly played a significant supporting role. He's created 40 goal-scoring chances this season, more than any of his counterparts in this division or across the Spanish, French, Italian and German leagues. However, those chances created are not translating into concrete results on the pitch. The Hammers have collected 9 fewer points from their opening 11 games than they did during the last campaign. And while Slaven Bilic's side aren't enjoying life at their new stadium, there isn't much cheer to be taken from their away performances either, with just 1 win on the road this season.
Manchester City lost top spot in the table after being held by Middlesbrough last time out, despite having their highest total of shots in a game this season. They face a Crystal Palace side who are the joint top scorers of teams outside the top 4. However, they failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 16 league games.
I think under Alan Pardew, they're quite attacking. There's only, I think, the top 4 sides in the division who've scored more goals than Crystal Palace. So it just says to me that they're a team that like to be on the front foot. Obviously, defensively, that's a bit of an issue for Alan Pardew. It's a long time since they last had a clean sheet in the Premier League.
Manchester City have also found clean sheets hard to come by. They've failed to keep their opponents out on 9 occasions this season. At this stage in their last campaign, they'd kept 6 clean sheets and sat at the top of the table on goal difference. 2 players who are enjoying attacking football are James McArthur and Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan is City's top-scoring midfielder with 3 goals, despite missing 4 games. Meanwhile, McArthur has the second-best shot conversion rate for a midfielder this season. In 2015, Palace recorded only their 2nd Premier League victory over City as Jason Punchin's free kick secured the 2-1 win. Last season, Kelechi Iheanacho scored his first ever goal in a Manchester City shirt with his dramatic last-minute winner just 54 seconds after coming on.
It may have taken them until November, but Sunderland finally claimed their first Premier League win of the campaign at the 11th attempt. The 2-1 victory at Bournemouth gave David Moyes his first 3-point haul since taking charge of the Black Cats, with his team showing more desire than usual to play on the front foot. Until their trip to the Vitality Stadium, Sunderland had played 64% of their passes this term in the opposition half. That figure rose to 70% against the Cherries, and they also took better care of the ball, losing possession far less often than they had across their first 10 matches. Now the team returned to the Stadium of Light with the aim of providing their loyal supporters with a first home win of the campaign. Since their promotion to this division in 2007, only 6 clubs have drawn bigger crowds, but Sunderland have often failed to make full use of their fans' passionate backing, winning just a quarter of their home games in that time.
If things aren't going too well, you find some players go into their shell a little bit and they're not able to cope with the pressure of playing at a big club the size of Sunderland, because it's a massive club, it's a big stadium, they've got a big following, and all the fans want is kind of something to cheer about, and unfortunately they haven't had that this season, so some of the players might be finding it a little bit difficult to deal with the pressure of playing at a big club, at a big stadium up there.
The pressure will certainly be on this Saturday, with fellow strugglers Hull City the visitors. The Tigers also enter this match off the back of a victory over Southampton, the first time in 31 Premier League games that they'd collected all 3 points after falling behind. Once again, Robert Snodgrass was on the scoresheet, taking his goal tally for the season to 4. He's the only player in the Hull squad to have scored more than once in the league this term, and he's been directly involved in 60% of the team's total goals, having also provided 2 assists.
He's one of the more talented players there, he's one of the more creative players there. And they most definitely are going to need him to step up, well, to keep stepping up to the plate week in, week out. He scored some fantastic goals. He has been creative at times. He's a good player. I remember playing against him when he was at Leeds, when he not long signed with Leeds, and I thought, he could go on and play in the Premier League and do well, and he's shown that he can do that.
What Sunderland would give for a creative spark such as Snodgrass. The Wearsiders have been heavily dependent on Jermaine Defoe for goals, with too many of their players contributing little in the final third. None of the midfielders at the club have scored so far this term, and of that group, only Jack Rodwell has managed an assist.
They're not a team that's going to create a lot of chances, so the midfielders, the defenders, they need to be chipping in with more goals. You can't rely on Jermaine Defoe to be scoring goals every single game to kind of keep them up again. It's just unrealistic, and it's too much pressure on him. And as well as that, they don't create enough chances for him to score enough goals as it is.
Improvements to the attack may be required, but in goal, Jordan Pickford has been a major positive. The young shot stopper has made 42 saves in total, and his form will be key if the Black Cats are going to survive. Some crucial interventions at Bournemouth played a huge part in helping the team get that first win.
Maybe Sunderland themselves will be thinking that they don't want so much attention on him, that they wouldn't have liked him to be worked so much. But when he has been called upon, he's done his bit for the team, and he's probably one that can hold his head up high and be proud of what he's done so far this season. And if they do stay up, then he's going to be playing a big part of it.
Both sides will be desperate to take maximum points from this clash to boost their survival prospects. But recent meetings between these two suggest Hull may have the edge. It's sure to be a tense affair, but who will hold their nerve?
I would like to say Sunderland, being an ex-Sunderland player, but I find it difficult. To kind of see them kind of getting 2 wins on the trot in the Premier League. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. So it's going to be a very, very tight one. I think Hull may just come out on top.
Beaten by Chelsea in their last game, Everton have just 1 victory in their last 6 matches, having won 4 of their first 5. Bob Bradley's miserable start to his Swansea City career continued as his side lost to Manchester United. Defeat this weekend and he'll become the first Swans manager to fail to win after 5 Premier League games in charge. His side's biggest defensive problems have come inside the box. 19 of the 21 goals they've conceded have been from within the penalty area, the joint most in the league. They'll be on their guard as Everton's Romelu Lukaku has scored 6 goals from inside the area this season. Everton defender Ashley Williams lines up against his old team for the first time. Having made more blocks than any of Swansea's defenders this season, it's clear they're missing their former captain.
Obviously on the pitch, I think it's clear for everyone to see he was such a good organiser and a leader. and he made such a difference to that Swansea back line. But I think it's as much he's missed off the field as well. You know, he's captained the club. He'd been there such a long time. You know, I think that he had a good relationship with the rest of the team and the players, and they had a lot of respect for him.
Since their promotion to the Premier League, Swansea have struggled against Everton. However, they did beat the Toffees for the first time last season in Francesco Guidolin's first match. The Swans held on to a vital 2-1 victory. Andre Ayew netted the winner in the 34th minute.
It's been quite a turnaround for Stoke City in recent weeks. Bottom of the Premier League pile in September, Mark Hughes' side have gone on to pick up 11 points since the start of October. Of all the 20 teams in the Premier League, only Chelsea and Liverpool have won more in that time. The Potters' form speaks for itself. In the last 6 weeks, they've recorded 3 wins and 3 draws and find themselves 4th in the form table. Mark Hughes' side are now looking to make it 3 home wins on the spin, something they haven't been able to do since April 2014. This weekend, they welcome a side they beat twice last season, although they may be wary of a certain Bournemouth player returning to his best. Jack Wilshere's move to the South Coast club is certainly having a positive effect, as for the first time since February 2014, the on-loan midfielder has completed the full 90 minutes of 3 consecutive Premier League matches. He's attracted the praise of manager Eddie Howe, and his work ethic is much required, as the Cherries have failed to secure a victory in the 3 games that have followed their impressive 6-1 win over Hull City. Howe's side's performances away from the Vitality Stadium are also in need of improvement. They've not won on the road for 7 games, and more of a worry is that they haven't kept a clean sheet on their travels since February.
Earlier in the programme, we asked how many players have played under the management of both Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger in the Premier League. The answer is a total of 5 players. They're William Gallas, Lassana Diarra, Cesc Fabregas, Petr Cech and Ashley Cole.
Watford will have used the international break to pick themselves up from their thumping at the hands of Liverpool. They welcome Leicester City and Claudio Ranieri, who takes charge of his 50th league game with the Foxes this weekend. The champions' inconsistent start sees them in 14th following a shock defeat at home to West Bromwich Albion last time out. Leicester's main struggles have come on the road this season. They've picked up just 1 point in 5 games away from home, the joint lowest tally in the league. Quite a contrast from their title-winning season when they lost just twice on their travels.
This year, I think Danny Drinkwater's found it difficult, whoever he's been partnered alongside, just try and stem the flow away from home. Obviously, they're still picking up points at home, which is good for them. But away from home, I just think at times they get a bit overrun in midfield.
Last season, Leicester travelled to Watford in the Premier League for the first time in 16 years. The Hornets were able to keep the visitors out until the 54th minute, when Riyad Mahrez broke the deadlock. The win started a run of 5 consecutive victories for the Foxes as they went on to claim their first ever Premier League title.
West Bromwich Albion's win over Leicester City provided much-needed respite, although Tony Pulis' side are still failing to dominate games. On average, they've recorded just 36% possession this season, and only Burnley, their opponents this weekend, have held onto the ball less. The Baggies' victory over the champions was only their 3rd of the season, and the Hawthorns hasn't been a happy home for Pulis' side, as they've recorded just 1 win there. And against newly promoted teams, they don't fare well. Their last home victory over one was against Burnley back in September 2014. West Brom will want to keep a close eye on Sam Vokes at kick-off, as the Burnley forward has scored 2 of the 3 fastest Premier League goals this season. 3 of the 4 he's scored this term have come in his last 4 appearances, while the Welshman has scored his side's only away goal. A stark contrast for the striker, who prior to that had found the back of the net just once in 33 top-flight games. Burnley's win over Crystal Palace before the international break extended their unbeaten run to 3 games, their best stretch since their return to the Premier League. They picked up 13 points at Turf Moor this season, but Sean Dyche's side haven't travelled well. They've collected just 1 point on the road from a possible 12.
So, after the international break, it's another weekend of fascinating fixtures, with Manchester City looking to regain top spot as they visit Crystal Palace, whilst it's a battle of two of the bottom three as Sunderland face Hull City. On Sunday, Chelsea head to Middlesbrough, West Bromwich Albion face Burnley on Monday. But the weekend kicks off with two old foes facing each other. For the first time at Old Trafford, Arsene Wenger will be hosted by his old adversary Jose Mourinho. Arsenal head to Manchester on a run of 10 games without defeat. United, meanwhile, have had a disjointed start to life under Mourinho. Could this be the prime moment for Wenger to get some long-awaited revenge for so many high-profile disappointments? Saturday will tell us. Until next time, from Dave Farrer, me, John Champion, and the rest of the Matchpack team, it's goodbye.